I'm not going to give you details about how to make a vision board. If you're looking for other videos about how to make vision boards, I'll link a few below, people who inspired me when I'm making my vision board. This video is about how to not self-sabotage when you're doing your vision board, because you know we're good for getting in our own way. So I'm just gonna give you a few tips that you should consider when making your vision board. I'm sorry, my sleeves are just like so distracting in the best way possible. Like, look how pretty this is. Hello, closet clean out. I forgot I even had the sweater. Okay. Visualization is such a powerful tool, and I'm just now scratching the surface, like barely the surface, of really understanding the science behind visualization. Like, we know that athletes use it to play better. Anytime that we've actually kind of practiced something in our mind and we visualized every element, we're practicing visualization. And on a personal note, I've manifested quite a few things in my life. And I say manifested, meaning co-created, because I'm a believer. And so I don't think any of this is done solely because of me. God has like designed this miraculous universe to kind of conspire in our favor in many ways. So understand what a vision board is and isn't. It is not a genie in a bottle. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna put like a picture of Fiji on my vision board, which I might have. I'm gonna put a picture of Fiji on my vision board and I'm just gonna like envision myself in Fiji. That is not the full approach. The fact is that what it is, it's a tool and a reminder and a vehicle. It's a vehicle to remember what your goals are and to remember the steps that you need to take in order to get there. But it is not a genie in a bottle. And if I got 3 wishes, I would always wish the first wish would be for unlimited wishes. Wouldn't that be your first wish too, right? Unlimited wishes, and then I could just go ham. It is not a magic pill and it's not a magic wand. That's just not how this goes. So please, if you read somewhere or watch something and you get the feeling that it's like, oh my God, if I just put it on my vision board, like that's it, it'll happen. Not quite the full story. Make it visible. Put it somewhere obvious. So I have mine in my notebook that I pretty much touch this notebook definitely at least once a week. And it's right in the center. It's the center page. Because I knew that I would be in here often. And I am constantly reminded of what my vision is. And there's kind of the way it's laid out is like there are certain times when I open it up and I'm looking at different things. It just depends on what's happening mentally and spiritually for me. That will make certain things kind of stand out. But make it visible, make it obvious, put it all up in your face, girl. Once you visualize and you've created your vision board, here's where the real work starts. You have to break your vision down into manageable steps. So like right now, I have this really dope Black woman here. Here she is. Where is she? Right here. And she's looking super fit. And I have her from the back. One, because like, hey, that could be me, you know? Like that could be me in the picture. And I did that on purpose. So it's easier for me to visualize myself in it. That's a beautiful image, but what are the steps that it's gonna take for me to get there? Right? And am I willing to take those steps? So for instance, I've given myself, hopefully this is a realistic timeline, but I've given myself 10 months to see noticeable change, to get me in that direction. So I've given myself 10 months. So what does that look like? What will I be doing over the course of the 10 months in order to make this vision a reality? And this one is the one I'm gonna be practicing. It's not good enough to just visualize like you being in like really beautiful shape. Well, all shapes are beautiful, but you being in your evolved version of your body at that next point. How do I put this without offending people? Look, you might be able to envision yourself being in whatever said body. But once you've broken it down into steps, you then have to visualize yourself taking those steps. So if the step is that you are going to drink a green drink every day, you have to now visualize yourself getting up, going into the kitchen, like every element of it, going into the kitchen, getting the spinach out of the fridge. And research has shown that the more we are able to employ all of our senses, like What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like opening up the fridge? Can you imagine pulling the handle? Can you feel the weight of the fridge door? When you can get that specific in your visualization, it is more likely to occur, because our brains, how our bodies are designed, is kind of miraculous. So our brain cannot tell the difference between something that we are visualizing and something that we're actually experiencing. We have to kind of utilize the power of how our bodies function and lean into that and really embrace that and leverage that. If you've ever said the word, I'll try that, or you are okay with experimenting and playing around with different modalities, all in the effort to live a more whole and authentic life, to kind of maximize your humanness, then you are in the right place. Hit the subscribe button, join the community, come on over, take off your shoes, leave perfection at the door, you won't need it here. And if you're new to the Experimental Studio community, welcome. I'm so pleased that we are growing, and tell a friend. Celebrate the small wins. And I mean, we know this. Isn't it so funny though, how often we take for granted the simple things that we already know, and we just kind of like shrug it off, and we don't realize or always remember how important some of the most basic and simple reminders are. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate them, because on the road from getting from here to there and seeing your vision board come to life, seeing it manifested, breaking it down into steps, you have to celebrate when you've accomplished those steps. Sometimes you're gonna fail at it. It's okay, whatever, try and try again, keep trying. But celebrate those small wins, because it's really, your vision board is really just a collection of small decisions that you're making and consistently making. So celebrate them. Be open to the how. Put it out into the universe. Put it out as a prayer and surrender it. And then be open to the how your vision ends up finding you. I remember there was a person who I had on the background of my phone as like fitness goals. It was Hannah Brosman, and hopefully I'm saying her last name right. It was like a visual reminder for me, and she was on the back of my phone as a background. This was years ago, and I was actually skinnier. We won't talk about that. It worked. I just guess I shouldn't have taken her off. I went to this event in Brooklyn in this cool warehouse in Greenpoint. I was feeling super cool, went with my friend. We got there and she was speaking. Afterwards, she was like taking pictures, and I went up to her and she was like, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "No, we've never met." And she's like, "Wow, you look really familiar." Meanwhile, I'm thinking, you look really familiar too. I have you in the back of my phone. I'm not a stalker, I promise. You were just like my vision for like body goals and don't really want to freak you out. So I'm not gonna tell you any of this. I'm just gonna tell YouTube a few years later. But you, in my mind, I'm thinking, but you're in my vision of myself in some ways. We are connected in that way. Like from a manifestation perspective, like she is somehow in my orbit. And I just thought it was interesting that maybe somehow I was in hers in some ways. It's truly the power of manifestation, the power of vision, the power of co-creating with your maker, and you're the designer of your life, the co-designer of your life. Like there is a power in that. It's humbling, it's beautiful, and it's awe-inspiring. It's everything. It's surrendering to that is everything. Share your vision with your support system. I'm sure someone can relate to this. Like when you feel like a little protective of your vision, like one, you don't want to put it out there because maybe it won't happen and that's going to be really kind of embarrassing. Like, joke's on you that you have that vision for yourself. But if no one knows you have that vision for yourself, then if you fail at it horribly and you do not get it, then no one really knew in the first place. So like the only person that's really disappointed is you. Right? So it's like you're saving yourself from the public embarrassment. So you kind of keep it to yourself. Or you don't really share because sometimes you're kind of, it's kind of almost like jinx. It's like, oh gosh, like if I say it out loud, it won't happen. Like if I put it out there, it won't happen. So I want to keep it to myself. Then it's also like, I call this the Rihanna move, like where you just kind of move smooth, you move easy, you move under the radar, and then you just pop out like, hello, I have a whole business. That's also another mode of operations where you're just like, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm just going to be about it. Now, I actually do believe in that philosophy in many ways. But I do think there is something to sharing your vision with other people who can hold you accountable. I believe that these people that you're sharing your visions with are a part of the story. Like, I believe that, again, because we don't know how this is gonna come to life, you may be sharing your vision with somebody who may be the key to unlocking one element of that vision board. And you just never know. You just never know. And the same thing for you. You could be hearing someone's vision, and it could be that you're the unlock for them. You know somebody, or you read some article, or you read a book, or you heard about a conference, like whatever the case may be. We're meant to do this in community. So share your vision with other people so that you have supporters who can help you realize that vision. Think about who you want to be. A lot of times in our vision boards, I think we write down like, okay, I'm looking at mine right now, and it's like, how many followers I want to have on YouTube. I'm kind of scared to say the number out loud, but I'm going to tell you because I'm practice what I preach, y'all. My goal here is I have 50, it was such a specific number, 58,000 followers. How crazy is that? And I'm going to put in the work to get y'all, okay? This community I'm gonna put in the work to go find 58,000 people who care to do experiments. So we have things like that, like, or, get in shape. But what's the anchor to it all is who we are while we're doing this. So I wrote that down on my vision board, and I'm recommending you do the same. Who do you want to be, and how do you want to show up as you're co-creating and manifesting your destiny? Those are the tips on how to not self-sabotage when doing your vision board and when manifesting. With that, hit subscribe, notification bell, all the buttons, all the things. You know the deal. I feel like this sleeve just needs its own video.